Welcome to the MOOC course on Buddhist philosophy. Our today's module is Buddhist approach to language. The learning objective of the module is to introduce to the students the Buddhist approach, particularly that of Dharmakirti regarding the nature of words, word meaning and sentence meaning. Buddhism has focused since its inception on the importance of seeing the things as they are. One of the ideas integral to this is that we should be able to see the phenomena, both physical and mental, without admixture of mental and linguistic constructs. As a result, the doctrine of mental and linguistic construction, that is vikalpa, becomes an important foundation of the Buddhist epistemology as well as soteriology. In different schools of Buddhism, the idea prevails that there is something given in reality, but when we think about what there is or when we talk about what there is, we use ideas, words which are our constructs, and we superimpose those mental and linguistic constructs on reality. This insight into the nature of language and reality was developed systematically by the Buddhist logicians such as Dignaga and Dharmakirti, which resulted into the Buddhist philosophy of language. Since Buddhists emphasize the gap between reality and language rather than their intrinsic relation, it was a challenge before them to explain how it becomes possible to talk about reality, to describe reality by using language. The challenge was met by Dignaga by introducing the doctrine of apoha. The doctrine was criticized by the rival schools and it was reconstructed and developed by the later Buddhist logicians such as Dharmakirti and Ratnakirti. Hence, in the present module, we will discuss briefly the Buddhist approach to language with the occasional reference to the doctrine of apoha. Now, let us consider the peculiarities of the Buddhist approach. The Buddhist approach to language is different from that of orthodox systems in that this is in at least three ways, particularly Vyakarana, Mimamsa and Nyaya. I want to suggest here that the latter approaches possess certain transcendental metaphysical features from which the former is almost free. The first feature of the orthodox approach to language is the idea of pure sacred language. The orthodox systems such as Vyakarana gives sacred status to Sanskrit language, particularly to grammatically well formed words, that is sadhu shabda in Sanskrit language, to have some sacred status. Non-Sanskrit languages and grammatically incorrect use of Sanskrit language were supposed to have a lower religious status. In contrast to this, Buddhists regard Sanskrit language, literally meaning cultured language, regarded as the pure and sacred, as a myth. According to them, there is no standard language. Dharmakirti in Vada Nyaya says that an attempt to standardize language is foolishness. The so-called non-standard language is as good a means to communication as the so-called standard language. Now, second feature of the orthodox approach to language is association with transcendent divine reality. Some orthodox systems tend to associate language with divinity. The Vyakarana philosopher Bhartruhari identified the essence of language, that is Shabda Tattva, with Brahman. In Mimamsa, Vedic language assumes an impersonal, eternal and transcendent status. Naiyayikas regard God as the author of the Vedas and the source of divine convention regarding the meanings of Sanskrit words. In contrast to this, Buddhists regard word meaning relation as purely conventional and regard this convention as purely human. They deny any kind of natural word meaning relation and also the idea of divine convention. The third feature of orthodox approach to language is essentialism and eternalism. Some orthodox systems tend to essentialize language and eternalize the essence of language. Purva Mimamsa regards words, word meanings and word meaning relation as eternal, nitya. Vyakarana postulated sphota as the eternal essence of meaning or meaning bearing units rather of language. And though Nyaya regards Shabda as non-eternal, it regards a major type of word meanings, namely Samanya or Jati as eternal. In contrast, Buddhists are opposed to all forms of eternalism. Neither words nor meanings are eternal. Words are just series of sounds. Their meanings are mental constructions. Now, let us consider the epistemological and ontological background of the Buddhist approach to language. The epistemology and ontology of Dignaga and Dharmakirti provide the background for their theory of words and meanings. Accordingly, there are only two forms of knowledge, that is pramanas. We have seen this earlier, that they are perception, that is pratyaksha, and inference, that is anumana. The object of pratyaksha is a unique particular and the object of anumana is a universal. Out of them, only a unique particular is real because it has causal efficacy, whereas universals are unreal insofar as they are only mental constructs and do not have causal efficacy. Pratyaksha is defined as cognition devoid of mental construction, and a mental construction is defined as that the object of which is expressible in language. The cognition of a unique particular being devoid of mental construction is not expressible in language. These tenets have some more implications for language. A unique particular is unique in that it is not repeatable and is uncommon, whereas the object of thought and language is always common, repeatable. This commonness or repeatability has three modes, we can say. By using the same word or idea, we can talk about different similar objects. This is one aspect. Then we can use the same word or idea for referring to different occurrences of the same object. Thirdly, different participants of dialogue can talk about a common object. Hence, what we think about or talk about is always common to many. It is not something one and unique. In this sense, we can say that there is no logically proper noun in our language. All words function as common nouns because they are about something, if at all they are about something which is common to many objects or occurrences or speakers. But something that is common to many is itself a fiction, a logical fiction which we have to construct for the possibility of communication. This fiction is necessary in that we cannot get rid of it in any situation of indirect knowledge, thought or communication. With these general remarks, now let us consider some more specific issues.